This is Doula Daisy, and you are now watching Crumb TV.
Brother Red Pill representing Know the Ledge, one half of the Twin Pillars. I am here rocking with Crumb TV.
No, you are watching Crumb TV.
You can find me on Crumb TV.
You can catch me on Crumb TV.
This is Chief Kalanago here at Crumb TV.
I am Joy Allen of the Memoirs of a Karmic Dynasty in the Crumb TV studio.
Honored to be on your program, brother.
Peace.
Peace.
Crumb TV.
Peace, Ashe, Islam, Namaste, Hotep, Grand Rising, Assalamu Alaikum, Walaikum Salam, Shalom, Hotep, Grand Rising, Boom Dia, that's the one I've always forget to say, Boom Dia, Shalom, Salam, Salat, Oseo, Holito, Hola, Aloha, Bonjour. Whatever the greeting is in your respective language, I am your humble brother Crumb here for another installation of Crumb TV. You already know what it is, family. I am everywhere you are at, but mainly I'm on YouTube. So, we are on Facebook and Twitter, but if you are on YouTube, smash that subscribe button if you have not already. And if you already have, hit that like button, family. This is going to be a really good one, family. This is just going to be peaceful, family. This is going to be peaceful. It's like, when Kanye first came into the game and he was actually appreciative, and he was making that type of music. It's going to be real soulful. So this is called Doulas Decoded. I have a lot to say on the topic, family, but first I want to acknowledge all the first responders. So these people got in before I even hit the button. It is Vincent Branch. Blessings, family. He says blessings, and we say blessings back. That is so beautiful. Sheila Lilani says Southern. That's an interesting one. I need to take a closer look. Okay, I'm not sure what to make of that. But I'm saying Southern back. Northern, Eastern, Western, but Southern. But this is the number one. Rasul Adana Omari says, what it do, family? What does it do? We about to really find out for real, for real. Number two in the building. Total Recall 13 says Ashe. I'm saying Ashe back. I see you. I love you. I appreciate you. Super amazing. What a title. What a name. You can't have self-esteem issues with a name like Super Amazing. You got to be feeling yourself. Says peace, family. We are saying peace fact. That is the trifecta, the first three people in the building. We see everybody, though. This is Doulas Decoded, and as you already know, I want to introduce my special guest, plus the rest of the family you have already come to know and love. It is our sister, Doula Daisy. Peace and love, sis. How are you? Just unmute your mic.
Peace again. I am Doula Daisy. I am very, very well. I'm so happy to be here with you all today. How are you all, family? Peace. Peace, everyone.
Peace, Brother Crumb.
Peace and love. So, of course, we have my good brother Sergio in the back, Taz, as we all know him, and my sister, the Memoirs of a Karmic Dynasty, Joy. Peace and love, sis. How are you?
Peace, Brother Crumb. How are you?
All is well. All is well. So our guest of honor today is Doula Daisy. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, sis, please?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to. My name is Doula Daisy. I am the founder of Mother Mayette Doula Services, and I am a doula who serves the south side of Chicago in the south suburban area. And what I do is just really support moms, support families, parents through the pregnancy, conception, birth, postpartum periods of those times in their lives. And so it's a really big passion of mine, and I'm really excited to dive in and help try to answer as many questions as I can. I've been a doula for about 2 years now. So just a little bit of experience, but I've been going big, going hard as from the moment I stepped foot in this world. Oddly enough, I was brought into this world by my daughter, and that birth experience. I birthed my daughter in a birth center. Next time I'm shooting for a home birth, but I essentially have just hit the ground and have not stopped since. So
that is beautiful, beautiful and amazing. Absolutely. So I see you have your setup. I want to ask some questions. I guess I'm gonna save my stuff for the end. I'll let you take the lead and I'll just kind of follow, or would you like to do it another way?
My biggest thing is education. So I know that people have plenty of questions for doulas. So I probably want to reach out to the crowd and get to answer some questions. But if not, I'd be happy to stress about home birth and how important that is to me, and how and what that looks like. And I'm curious.
Well, I'll definitely take the lead on some questions then. I got more than I think the average can handle. So tell me, what is your position on circumcision?
Okay, so circumcision, it happens more than it needs to in the U.S., and especially among African American women and women of color, and so that's a huge rate. It's at about 30% in this country, and that is higher than any other developed country in the world. And I said developed because I want you to know we're comparing this to country, we're not comparing this to like third world countries. We're comparing this to established countries, and it is beyond disproportionate. And so my biggest take is that most C-sections are actually unnecessary and could have been prevented.
I was actually, no, please, sis.
I think it's important if everyone knows how the doula came to Crumb TV. If we speak about Brother Taz, possibly, where you go? You know.
I wasn't sure if he wanted to go in that direction. I was going to let him.
Brother Taz.
Yeah.
It's completely up to him. That's my call.
Okay. To Crumb TV, why the doula?
Oh, well. To explain to everybody here, just to give everybody some intake of whatever. My family's having an addition, a family addition. All right. I made a post about it. My wife is pregnant with our third child. We want to have the experience presented to the family, not live, but the journey of it, so you guys could experience what we're telling everybody that we should be experiencing. We want to make sure that we practice what we preach, first of all. Second of all, that we bring the aspect of a more of a natural birth, something that puts our women in a more comfortable position to be able to give this beautiful act of giving life and bringing them forth into this realm. And I don't think that in the hospital is something that should be done, especially for us colored people. And when it comes to the Midwest, I had a very hard time trying to find a doula within my area. All right, and she Doula Daisy had mentioned to me, that the universe had already mentioned to her, that I was gonna come back and then see her, and I took that as a sign that it was her journey that I was put into, as well as she was put in our journey, so we could both grow. After all, that's the whole point that we're trying to accomplish right now, is to uplift our people, because we got, but like Brother Crumb says, we all we got, but that's all we need. That's all we need, and as long as we're here to uplift each other, then we'll be more than okay. And I want you guys to join me in my journey of having a home birth at home. And with that said, I want to present you guys with my doula, the one that's going to be taking care of my wife, and we're going to create a great environment for her. But I'm not gonna. I just wanted to, reiterate of why she is, how we came about knowing her, and it's not just somebody that we just want to have in front of the channel just to give out information. We are practicing what we're preaching. I'm in the process of doing it. Brother Crumb, as he has told us before, he has done it, and we encourage our people to join us in this journey which we've been doing it since forever. That hospital thing, that's some right now shit. Excuse my French.
Well, definitely congratulations, and thank you for sharing that information with us. We definitely wish you a safe and prosperous and healthy new addition to the family. Congratulations, congratulations. Could the family, the listening audience, please help us congratulate the good brother for the new addition to his family. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. With that said, yeah, I definitely encourage the family to do it yourself. You know, I was talking to a sister and I had asked her, I said, what made you do it yourself? She said that she had a dog. She said, if my dog can do it herself, I can do it myself. I was like, damn, Gina. What do you think are some of the biggest oppositions of why women are afraid to give birth? Like, what does it seem like women are disconnected from that part of being female? I don't know.
So what I found, well, society at large is obviously desensitized, but what we have gotten away from is our ancestral knowledge, is knowledge that we have had for numerous years. We came into even just coming, I won't start, our history goes past this, but I'll start with the history here in America as far as midwives. The first midwife was noted in 1915, and you can actually look, she's in the Bible. So that's how far back we go. And so for us, it's like, this knowledge is ours. You're in our house, this knowledge is ours. But we have gotten so far away from that because midwives were pushed out at about the mid 1940s. They were made to be seen as unsafe, or a hospital birth is safer, or cleaner, or different tactics they used to push out midwives at that time. And since then, that knowledge had been kind of repressed and lost. And now, even with making the certification process kind of difficult for women of color, we have a situation now where we know it's our knowledge, they know it's our knowledge, and now they're charging $1,000 to teach us our knowledge. You see, so that I find that I find that to be a little bit kind of funny. But so what it is we just really have to get the village back. We have to absolutely educate, and that's the biggest part. And so I find that if a woman is educated, if a family is educated, I fully believe they can make the best decisions. And a lot of what we're seeing is just a lot of uneducated decisions. How many times have we seen where mom just did not know? She just didn't know. And so just like we said, our family is all we need. We're everything we need. That's what I tell women. You are everything you need. You are enough. You are absolutely enough. And so if we can get back to that, I think that we can see a better birth outcomes in people of color, which I don't know if we all know, but it is very disproportional. The rate at which women of color die, the rate at which our babies die, is 4 times that of our white counterparts per se. And so that is heartbreaking to me. And actually, I've had white midwives cry about this because they know how serious this is. And the fact that some Black women, Black families, women of color, families of color don't even know that it is an issue is the problem. It is the problem. They don't even know they're in trouble. They don't even know that they're in danger of dying. And that is an issue. So that's what I don't think there's a thing wrong with our women's femininity. I don't think there's a thing wrong with their spirit. I don't think there's a thing wrong with their pelvises, like they try to tell a lot of women, or their bodies, or anything like that. I think it's simply about education.
Sister Joy?
Yes, so Doula Daisy mentioned midwife, and being here with Brother Taz and his family in their home in support of their addition to their family. We've been doing some work together and preparing for broadcast, and we figured while I'm here, we might as well do some things together concerning broadcast. So this book is one that's Brother Taz. It belongs to him. And I've been in here reading and working on some future topics, as I mentioned. So Doula Daisy mentioned midwife. And last night I was in the letter A's and the word abortion came up. In the abortion section, it mentioned midwife. So I mentioned this to Brother Taz, and he asked if I would read this section. So this is the Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets by Barbara G. Walker. So midwifery, as Doula Daisy mentioned, was mentioned in the Bible. Is part of history. From the Anglo-Saxon midwife, wise woman or witch. Even in Christian era, priestess of the Great Mother maintained their monopoly of obstetrics. For most men were afraid of the taboo mysteries of birth. The Bible declared a new mother untouchable for as long as 66 days after giving birth, and that's in Leviticus 12:5. And by canon law, a mother was not allowed to enter a church until 40 days after childbed. For the first half of the Christian era, the arts of medicine remained almost exclusively in the hands of wise women, because ancient healing shrines had been devoted almost exclusively to the goddess priestess. In ancient Egypt, midwifery was the province of sevenfold Hathor, who gave each infant its 7 souls. The Malayan still say all midwives are holy, partaking of the spirit of the first midwife who lives in the highest of the 7 heavens, each one of which is ruled by one of the 7 celestial midwives, identical with the Hathors. An early midwife is a sort of fairy godmother with a spiritual tie to each child she brings into the world. So with that being said, I'd like to ask a question. Have you experienced the spiritual tie with a child you brought into the world? Do you have connection with the children and the families after the child's delivered?
Everyone. The degree varies. Some families are just, are absolute my families forever and ever. But it is heavily spiritual. In fact, mostly. And so in what I mean by that, I've read something that said doulas are bringers of peace. We create a space that you can have peace in. So with that being said, when I connect with a mother, what I am trying to do is invoke my strength into her. I try to give her what is in me. And so to create that portal, which I can, because, I can go with them. I go within myself to help a mother go within herself. So it has to be spiritual. It absolutely has to be. And some, everybody's practices and beliefs are different. But what is universal is the connection, the energy connection. What is universal is the vibe. And just like Sabrina was saying, I don't really even like my many people, maybe. But the energy does not ever lie. Ever.
Facts.
So
Yes.
Doula Daisy, I wanted to ask, what's the difference between a doula and a midwife?
great question. So the biggest distinction is the medical part. So as a doula handles a lot of the emotional, physical side of the birth, while the midwife will handle the medical side. And the two are not interchangeable at all. You cannot replace a midwife with a doula. You cannot replace a doula with a midwife. And so a doula may do things like cervical exams. She may check the heartbeat of the baby and mom, may check the heart rate and things like that. And so some doulas are not medically trained. I happen to be, but not all doulas are. So that would be the distinction. Not a doula is not able to do those things, essentially, because they're not medically trained. And also a midwife may not be able to take the time if she's doing the cervical exams and things like that. She can't also get mom water and she can't also rub mom's hair and do things like hold her hips and do all the things that us doulas do. So that's why it really is a team effort. Dad is a part of the team, mom is a part of the team. Sometimes grandma is a part of the team. And there's usually some other people, or sometimes I get moms that prefer to birth alone, just like you had mentioned. A young lady had seen her dog, and that was the inspiration. Most mammals go to birth alone. So it was just good to, it's good to see. Yes, that is distinction. Yeah.
One thing that I wanted to touch base on, because is the one thing that me and her has spoken regards about, was a lotus birth. If you could probably tell the people because most of the family are probably not aware what a lotus birth is, and I think that's actually one of the bigger aspects of what we have to understand when it comes to birthing. Now, remember, I have the goddesses in front for a reason. This is not my subject. I'm just here to present the information to the rest of the empresses that are around and that are listening to the information, so they could understand, that we today in reality, there's a man that's the one that tells a woman what is it that she's supposed to be doing or not doing, or what she's capable of doing or not capable of doing. And I think that the aspect of a lotus birth just tells a lot about the strength of a woman and the beauty of birth. So maybe if you could touch base on that, that would be complete. I mean, as far as for me, it would be amazing.
Absolutely. So I consider a lotus birth, I might say it differently. I would say honoring, I call it lotus birth in general because that's what most people know that term. But I would actually go deeper and say it is honoring the placenta. The placenta is a huge part of growing your baby, and it is the baby's home for that entire 40-week period. And so we are so thankful, and we pay homage to the placenta for taking care of our baby for all of 40 of those weeks. And not only that, but those hormones and all that stuff that's rushing inside of that placenta, when consumed by mom, can actually return her hormone levels back to a normal or balanced state.
Right.
And so that is the point of some people will consume I'm sorry, I'm getting into two different topics. So
that is absolutely correct. Go ahead.
Yeah, that would be a reason too that some moms actually will consume their placenta. But as for the lotus birth, what we adorn the placenta with herbs, and we adorn the placenta with things like that. Maybe even some crystals. You can kind of dress it how you please. I usually just do herbs. But we adorn it with those things to allow the baby to receive all the nutrients that its first home had to offer to the baby. So when we leave the cord attached and allow it to fall off naturally, we know that that baby got all of its red blood cells and everything that it was supposed to get, and we know that we got all the use out of that placenta. So that is the idea of that practice, and it's not new, but it is kind of catching on again. Everything goes in cycles and fads and things like that, so it's kind of catching on again, and people are starting to do more and more lotus births. So that is really exciting to me.
Let me try to throw my hat in the game. So now, when you're dealing with the lotus birth, it's simply, I'm just going to mute your side. I'm getting some feedback. It's simply leaving the umbilical cord attached to the baby. In the hospital, they're going to treat the placenta as a bio waste or biohazard or something to that effect. And they're going to get rid of it because it is going to present to the hospital a threat. This is concerning mom and baby a conflict of interest within how they operate their system. So now, even if she wants to have a lotus birth at the hospital, she's going to have to sign papers in advance and go through a lot of mumbo jumbo and disturb her nesting period. So now she the umbilical cord is attached to the baby. I personally, because I've gone through it, would only recommend that you keep the umbilical cord connected to the baby for approximately 4 hours. Now, the reality is the umbilical cord and the placenta are both have blood on it, so you do want to rinse it off. After you rinse it off, then you're going to put it in your herbs. The herbs are going to be for smell, because keep in mind it is dying and it's going to decompose. The main thing you're going to put on the placenta is nitrate salt or even sea salt or any type of salt. We know that salt is a preservative, just like it is for jerky and things. It's going to dry the placenta out. When the placenta first comes out, you're going to see the placenta pulsate. It's going to do like this. You're going to see it. The other thing that's going to help you understand the timing is going to be the color of the placenta. It's going to be blue and red. You're going to see an artery and a vein. By the time the placenta is done pulsating, those veins will turn to pink and purple, and then they'll all turn to white. This is going to be about 4 hours max, for 20 minutes for some, depending on how long mom went through gestation, whether that was 38 weeks, 36, or 42. That's all based off her. So now you put it in the salt, it's going to dry up. The reason you don't want to let it fall off by itself is because when that umbilical cord gets hard, because the salt is going to make it get hard, it's going to harden from the placenta going to the site of the navel. Now, once that placenta gets hard, it's going to be a little bit cumbersome for mom or dad to change that pamper, and it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable for baby for that pamper to be touching that site. We want to get that thing dried out. So when you're dealing with a lotus birth, personally, based off experience, I would say wait. Don't do it based off when Crumb did it. Do it based off when that placenta stops pulsating and the umbilical cord turns completely white. In the meantime, in between time, put nitrate salt or sea salt for the drying effect to start immediately, because this is a biohazard depending on the health condition of mom. Secondly, you're going to put your herbs on it just for the smell and something to be for baby, because this is a new world and aromatherapy is real and you want something gentle. That's all I have for lotus birth. I'm going to pass the mic.
And I just wanted to piggyback off of something you said at first about them getting rid of the placenta. That is 100% not true. They actually want your placenta. I always tell Black women, people of color, women of color, take your placenta out of the hospital. And actually, I've moved. I hadn't talked about hospital births as much because I had moved towards so many more home births, and that's kind of my main area of focus. But in my hospital births, I tell my moms, please take the placenta out of the hospital. But they do use that placenta to develop medicines. They do use it to do research and study and things like that. It is not going to waste at all. They are using your baby's organ. So take it out, regardless of, even if you didn't even know what to do with it, take it.
Oh, indeed. And I think one thing that the family fails to realize is when we're dealing with the hospital, it's not a 501c3. It's a business. Anything that they can use to profit off, they're going to do that. The hospital is in between a rock and a hard place because the emergency room can't turn away people who do not have insurance. So now the hospital is going to do anything it can in its best interest to stay profitable. This is where the conflict of interest comes again with the cesarean, which for the hospital is going to be more profitable than a natural birth. You were speaking about the cesareans. Did you have any more to add, or you wanted to go somewhere else?
And I just want people to, if there's one thing I could say about the cesarean C-section right here in America, and what you can do to kind of not fall into that category, is do your research on the hospital, see what their C-section rate is. If you are going to a doctor and there's not much convincing you're going to do to your doctor and say, well, I'm not having a C-section. If it's C-section rate is 50%, you're probably having a C-section. So do your research and find out what that hospital's policies are, if that is the absolute takeaway. So in the beginning of your pregnancy, finding a care provider that is aligned with what you want is the biggest part of having the birth experience that you want. So I want to say make sure you check on the care provider. And also about C-sections, I want to make sure you know just kind of the steps of intervention and how we get to the point where we're having a C-section. But I just want to reiterate that one intervention usually leads to another. That doesn't matter how big or small the intervention is. And actually, I've just reevaluated my list of interventions to include things like even that heart rate monitor. That is an intervention. Even wearing a hospital gown, that is intervening in your birth process because it's maybe not something that you normally would have worn. So it absolutely plays a role in your psyche and how you're thinking about the birth process, and all those interventions add up. So one intervention usually leads to another, and the biggest one that leads to the C-section is usually actually an epidural. Usually an epidural kind of leads to, it usually means we may head to a C-section. And I see it time and time again. So I usually, that's why it's such a big push to try to help you stay natural throughout the process, or, it's really up to the woman and what she likes. I have people who elect to have epidurals or elect to have C-sections. So it is what that mom chooses. She chooses to birth the way that she knows is best for her family. But I just want people to be making educated decisions about those types of things. So again, I'm not against hospitals. I want to make that very clear. If you're dying, I'm pretty sure the hospital is the place you probably want to go. So thank goodness they're there in those emergency situations. I just want to be clear that birth and pregnancy is not an emergency situation. The hospital is for the sick, it is for the dying. And unless you are those things, then that is why there is the big push for home birth, and especially as a woman of color, and knowing that you're 4 times more likely to die if you go to a hospital, then home birth becomes the safest option for women of color.
Yeah, not only are you 4 times, and I have to take a pragmatic stance to say I am against the hospital because of the history that they have had with our people. And I'm so glad that you ended on that note, because I want to pick up on that note. Our women are 4 times as likely to die in that hospital. You go in that hospital, you've got a very high chance of not coming out. There's something called an HAI. I worked in the hospital. Keep in mind, what I'm about to tell you isn't based on a caste system. Everybody in the hospital by federal law has to take this test to get into the hospital, whether you be the doctor or a candy striper. So now it's called a HAI, a hospital acquired infection. Who is, the number one hospital acquired an infection are going to be UTIs. So now who's getting all these UTIs? Well, by gender, it's women. Men aren't getting an overwhelming amount of UTIs. Number 2, it's by race. It's just our women for the most part going out there, because even Serena, or I don't know which one it was, Serena or Venus, they said when they went to the hospital and had their birth experience, even with all the money they had a negative birth experience. And I want to just, before I pass the mic, I want to see if I can poll the listening audience, just the sisters respectively. If you had a negative birthing experience in the hospital, can you please press 1? And even though I didn't have a child, I was in the hospital with my children's mother, and it was a negative experience, so I can speak because I was there. I'm going to press 1 as well to lead that parade.
I am just looking.
Quite a few of them.
Yeah. Oh,
I put mine in there.
I'm sorry, Sheba.
Yeah, and I think it's unfortunately more common than not. And I do encourage everybody to do your research, but in some cases, when you do your research, you're going to get the McDonald's effect, to where you're going to see something on a commercial, and then when you go into the actual business, you're going to get a completely different service or product. So we know that they'll advertise something, in terms of McDonald's, or this is toy. Because when I was a kid, I would see the toy, like, oh, I want that toy. And my father was like, listen, trust me, you don't want it. It looks good on the commercial, but you're not going to play with it for more than 2 minutes. Trust me. But we fall for the glam, the glitz, and the shiny, and the white suits, and the smiles, and so on and so forth. But more often than not, they oversell it, and even if it is true to what it's supposed to be, we're not going to necessarily get that because of what we look like, and that's just the reality of the world we live in. I do encourage the people, hey, if you got to go to the hospital, go there, do what you do. But I think the best thing to do before you go to the hospital is preventive maintenance. Prepare yourself. And that's why I think that the doula is a key point within the gestation. Unfortunately, a lot of our sisters are just having sex, they get pregnant, and then they wait to the last minute and they go to the hospital, because the hospital is for emergencies, for people who don't plan. If you didn't plan to get hit by a car, then yeah, go to the hospital. If you didn't plan to have your baby, sis, go to the hospital. These people are going to have to do this for you. They're going to shoot you up with vaccinations. They're going to C-section you. They might sterilize you. But that's just the gambit you take for, the ignorance is bliss, the tortoise in the hare, I'll get to it tomorrow, lackadaisical attitude to having children. And that's why I really applaud our doulas, because this is a sacred and beautiful time that needs to be respected and revered more and prepared for more than what we see. And the hospital is capitalizing off our victim mentality.
And one thing that maybe we could touch base on is one of the services she provides is the encapsulation of the placenta. Maybe she could give us a little info on because she does have her own website. Maybe if we could share her website, the other one, the one that's right here, the first one.
Sister Midwife Productions.
No, this one right here. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, it is that one, but you just have to change tabs.
Oh, I got.
There we go. So yeah, that's her website. She has different types of services that she provides. I encourage everybody, to look into her. I like her website, and that's one of the first things that attracted me to her. And she does give the option of encapsulating, like I previously said, the placenta. From my perspective, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a woman, so I'm only going based off of what I've researched. But from my understanding, there's a lot of hormones that women lose when they have a child. So if we've noticed, at least in most mammals, when they have when the female has their babies, they usually eat the placenta. The reason why is to return, as she previously said, all those hormones that were now taken away from the woman's body, which puts her at an unbalance, and that brings her to that situation after birth, which is called what is it called when you become depressed after your
Postpartum depression.
Yeah, postpartum depression. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things that that prevents that, is for you to be able to introduce back those hormones that you lost during the birthing process. So maybe you could tell us. She's got a little setup right here, and she's had some books that that she also wanted to present. So I want to just give her a chance, to be able to provide all the information that she brought to us.
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah, that is awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really, I use all the opportunity I can to talk about home birth. So, so that is my biggest thing, and that's what I bought here today. I just bought a home book birth. A home book birth, which is just a friend of mine telling her 6 birth story. She had 6 babies at home, including breech twins. So if there's a soldier, it's her. It's her. 6 of them at home. And I just want to make this normal. I want to make this completely normal. I want to shove it down you guys' throats because I want this to be super, super normal, super, super like it's, we go to, it just is like how we know to go to the hospital. I want people to know that is possible for them. So that's what I just bought
And
there.
These are some of the herbs that you use for the placenta, or for?
Yeah. These are some of my postpartum herbs, and these are just like a few. But that's kind of what's on this table is kind of just a pinch of what I do, or how a doula works. And so the educational piece, and so we go over a lot of how baby the whole birthing process, and how baby enters into the pelvis before mom is giving birth. My clients will know this inside and out. So this is my little baby, my placenta. So those are just some tools. These are some of my postpartum herbs, and just knowing the knowledge of herbology and how to stop things like postpartum hemorrhage, or even things during pregnancy where they may be contracting too early, and how to slow that down using herbs instead of modern medicine. And all of that knowledge, like it just comes with research. Models, and using models like these to help again get that birthing process down, because here's the one thing I found out giving birth is that it is not so scary when I know exactly what's going on. I know the baby is right there in my pelvis, and I know why it hurts right there. So it's a lot easier to deal with the pain or the discomfort if you know, hey, I know this is where my baby is. I know I have to wait until the baby transitions and moves through this period. I know why my back hurts right there. I know why it hurts here in the front, and I'm understanding a lot better because I know I've gone through this process. I've visualized my baby going through the birth canal and things like that. So those are just some of the things that I do, setting the mood, and really just, I told you, it's about the vibe, the energy. And so I know if I can get the environment right, and I can get the vibe right, and set that and construct that peaceful environment, that's a big part of mom being mentally prepared to give birth. So again, it is a lot of just putting the power into mom's hands, putting the power into the parents' hands. And I put just as much energy into my dad's as my mom's, because I need dad at 1,000%, because I truly believe if they're both at 100%, they can both make the best decisions possible. So I've seen the cases where dad gets tired, and he definitely needs a nap and maybe a burger, or something to eat or something like that. But I'm there for those reasons, so that dad is, able to support mom in the way that she knows she's used to him being there. Because we're all human. In a 24-hour birth or 12-hour birth, people get tired. Especially dads don't sleep very well when mom is in labor. Not one, usually most don't sleep very well. So I might tap dad on the shoulder. Hey, it's time to take a little nap. Okay. So just keeping the family function flowing, and those are just some of the ways that I kind of help out. And especially in a home birth setting, I really am just the facilitator of everything. And then as far as home births, I would say it is more so the advocacy part of it. I don't like to say that I advocate for people, but I do. You might hear me say something like, hey, did you understand what the doctor was telling you? Maybe you should ask questions. Ask the doctor, what are the risks? What are the benefits? Because, again, if you know, you'll make better decisions. And a lot of times they don't like to tell you risk and benefits, but it is absolutely your right to be informed consent. So you will have the right to know the risk and benefits of everything before the doctor does it. He should not be telling you as he's doing something, oh, I'm giving you this, because no, there should be a conversation about it before it's happening. Because if it is an emergency, like the most times they tell parents, then they won't ask you. They will just simply do it if it is a true emergency. If it's not, they'll likely say, hey, well, we think that you should probably take this medicine. And they won't really give much else of an explanation. They'll just say, we think you should do this. And say that at that time you want to ask plenty questions. I'm just trying to throw out tips because I know moms are right now going through this process, and I know I can't exactly help you individually, but I know if you can make sure early on in your birth, your pregnancy, find the right care provider, for one, ask the right questions, 2, and then 3, three should be 1, look into home birth options. So and things like that. And that brings me to one of my last things. I want to make sure I give you at least a resource or 2 for the Midwest specifically to find doulas and midwives in your area, and that would be the Sister Midwives website, which I'm sure they can pull up in a moment here. On this website, you can look up doulas, midwives in your city, state, or area, and these are going to be midwives and doulas of color. So you can look up any area, and it's going to pull up what they have close by. They have lactation support as well as an option on there, and some other things. And so it's going to pull up what is in the area. And so that's really good, a really good tool. And it also, usually sometimes they'll have the even reviews and things like that. So you can actually read about the doula, and it's usually linked to her website and things like that. So you can kind of gauge and see who you want to call that way. So that resource will be available to you. And then, of course, you can, this is a beautiful website here that she, back to find the doula. There you go, down, yep. And then, so this is where you would find that. So just this search bar is where you can just go quickly to look up that information in your area. So if you type Chicago doula, all of the information should pop up, and that could be a great resource for you. And so, and I know all of these women personally. These are my sisters. There's me, Daisy, Mother Mat, Doulas Services, and so you can read my reviews there as well.
Does it say under listing or reviews? You want to do it?
That's fine. Totally cool. But yes, and so this, I hope this will help someone. If you're looking for a doula, you can kind of see what that looks like. So you can see reviews and things like that.
It looks very thorough.
Yeah, it is actually. I really love this, and we're building the director because the other big part is the connection. And we are working on organizations like Midwives of Color, Doulas of Color, and in order to be able to connect, so that, hey, if I have a patient here in Chicago or somewhere in Memphis, someone contacts me and I can say, hey, I need a doula in Memphis. Is there anybody available? And I should be able to call my sister in Memphis and she go take care of that person. That's the kind of community that we have. So bringing back again that village aspect, and it is happening. It is happening. It might be slow. It might, it is a process, but we're doing the work. We're doing the work.
Baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. No pun intended. But yes, we are doing the work, and it's just one step at a time. And so I encourage, if you are interested also in becoming a doula, please reach out to me. I have tons and tons of resources for training. And I know I didn't talk much about my training. I was trained by my delivering midwife, and she is a wonderful white woman, but she is white. And I do and I'm so thankful for the training that she gave me. But I felt it was just incomplete. It didn't touch on the aspects that I spoke on today, like the herbs and um, essential oils and things like that. It kind of was just, cut and dry, and that's awesome. But I really had to go out and seek different training from my sisters to really get the knowledge that I needed imparted in me, and that has been such a blessing. I've received numerous scholarships and grants for training, so I'm happy to be a resource to anybody who wants to become a doula as well, and because we need you. I can't be it all of us. It's a lot of us out here.
Right, you're not the only one, because Brother Crumb is one of the things that he stressed a lot of times on his shows is that he believes that every single woman should have this under her belt, the title of a doula.
Yep.
So I mean, Brother Crumb.
Yeah, I believe in terms of curriculum, I've just seen so many times where we were tasked to learn things that had no practical application. I think I had went all the way up to like trig or something, and I've never used trig outside of 11th, 12th grade. So I think in terms of practicality, because for the most part, yeah, I know it is trending down a little bit, but we still have babies. We still, I don't know if that's still a thing with the kids or not. Is it cool anymore to have kids? But that's maybe that's my generation. I don't know. But as long as we continue to have children, I think it makes sense that at the very least, both, because it takes two. So the boys and the girls, I don't want to exclude the boys, but at the very least, the girls should, by the age 16, have their doula certification. That's just my personal, in my perfect world, that's what would be at the very least.
All right. Absolutely, I 1000% agree, which is why I'm pushing to grab as many people as I can on this journey with me. So yes, absolutely, I agree.
I'm working on mine now.
I'm working on the direct entry midwifery process, which is kind of like a self-study process. Obviously, you can go to school. That will be about $18,000. You can go to a non-degree school, and that'll be about $10,000. Or you could do the self-study examination route. It kind of just, you have to attend a certain number of births, and that route as well. And so people don't even know there are different routes to becoming a midwife. So again, people having access to becoming these things, midwife and doula. And so again, if you just want to pick my brain, I'm completely available. If you want my information, we can definitely sit through that. Oh yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're thinking about more of us becoming doulas and being trained. So I actually, with the search for assisting my humble brother Taz with this search for a doula, and this website that you shared would have been a great resource. It would, because we were everywhere. We were looking, and
we were all over.
Me myself, I was like, I looked
2 states
in my, and 3.
Oh yeah, in Ohio too.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Detroit, Indianapolis,
Illinois,
yeah.
Wow.
Chicago. So we were looking. There's 3 states: Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, and so in the search for a doula, y'all know me, I'll bust up lies. So I'm like, what's the doula? What do doulas do? What's the doula do? So, and I was like, Brother Taz, I could be the doula. Because you were mentioning the different routes to become a doula. And then you were mentioning the prices. Mm-hmm. And so the last one you mentioned, I see that it was like $900, possibly. Depends on which route. Just depends. But that's like a rough number I saw. And so from my study of becoming a doula, I see that you have to attend a few births, and you have to get certified. And then they have these packets and workshops, and you have to attend like breastfeeding classes and read a required amount of books. And you mentioned providing birth support to 3 women. You mentioned that earlier. And attend a business webinar, write an essay. Did you have to write an essay?
I've had to do a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Lots of essays.
And it also says you have to get 2 references. So for myself, other than being certified and attending some workshops and reading a few more books in life, you know what I mean? Just a few more books and writing an essay. I can write an essay, and then people are asking for your contact information. If you need assistance with any of this, like she said, she'll assist you. So this is just one of many resources I used in my journey to know how to become a doula. And I found out, like many things, is easier than we think it is because of our level of not knowing, the level of ignorance. We think things are like out of our reach and it's unattainable. And it's very much something that you can do. You can do it.
Yes. And just to piggyback off of that, I know you mentioned the certification, but I want to go back to something I said in the beginning, which was this is our knowledge. You cannot put a certification on our knowledge. It is already ours. So you cannot say, who gave you the authority to say, hey, I'm giving you this piece of paper, to say, hey, a certification is something that looks great on paper. But you don't actually need a certification to practice. But I do stress to doulas that I mentor, training and education are a must. You cannot get around training and you cannot get around educating yourself. But as far as the certification, I did pick and choose which certification I completed. But I've done numerous trainings, but I did pick the holistic home birth certification to actually complete, like as far as the certification process. But I do trainings continuously, and it's not something that ever stops. You won't ever stop training. You won't ever stop learning and growing and trying to get new knowledge, because birth changes and we find out different things and new things every day. It seems like it's something different, and new developments. Science changes. Science is like ever changing, so you never stop learning. And so that makes it really easy to me to be a doula, because as long as you sit here and say, hey, I've done the research, okay, I've done my homework, then you can stand confidently in supporting a mom with that knowledge and whatnot. So then all you have to do is go out and get that experience. And so I say experience and education are the biggest pieces that you will have. And then some people, they ask me, well, what do you take to a birth? Honestly, my first few births, I took me, because how am I going to tell a mom that you are enough if I'm not enough? You see what I'm saying? So I read something and it was like, oh, I don't take much. I took a few things. I take a little birth oil, I take a rebozo here and there. But honestly, I'm really confident on going on a birth with just me. I'm fully confident in doing that. But since I've started to take a few tools here and there, a few different things to just, spice it up a bit. But I just, just like I tell mothers, you are enough to be a doula as well. You are enough to be a midwife. You have to be in a mindset that you are there already. That's the whole thing about manifestation, and that's how it works. You have to speak in the now. So you are a doula.
I am a doula. I told you, Taz. I told you.
Well, it is true. If you want to really look at the aspect of nature, us as humans, we put ourselves at the very top of the food chain. But when you look at it, we're lacking something, and it's not that we're ignorant as in stupid. It's just that this has been taken from us. You look at birds. Who teaches a bird how to build a nest? You know, who teaches what is the little animal that goes in the river and creates a dam? A beaver.
Mhm.
Who teaches this beaver? You know, that's not just any building. I'm gonna build a dam. You know, that not anybody could just do that. You know, so who teaches this animal? It's already encoded into them, and this is already encoded into our women. The fact is that it was taken and it was hidden. It's occult now. And now we hear the word occult and he's like, ooh, scary, get away. No, run to the hospital. But in reality is that it is within all our women, the capacity and the knowledge. The minute you start looking into it, is going to resonate with you. You're going to be able to do it. Please contact Daisy Doula for anything if you want to look into other things. And we appreciate having you here. We always looking for the divine feminine energy to be in our channel, so we could, you know, present everything, every natural aspect that Mother Earth has given us since the beginning of time. Other than that, you know, thank you so much for all the information that you provided to us today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Look, I'll be like, can you tell us? Can you tell us about your partnership with the Chicago Volunteer Doulas?
So the Chicago Volunteer Doulas hold a very special place in my heart, and I encourage you all to please visit the website. And it is a website, a birth justice organization that provides doula services and support. So they do birth doulas and postpartum work in the Chicagoland area, and they serve underprivileged families, low-income families, and so you can kind of, like, you would apply for a doula, and then you would be matched with a doula if you were to be accepted into that program. And hopefully it's me. Hey, I'm here. But and then you get the doula, and the only part about the Chicago volunteer option is that it is kind of it's a volunteer based program, so then you don't get the full doula service from the first few weeks to postpartum, but you do get that birth support, which is our most important aspect of it. So we try to at least meet with our moms once before they go into labor, but then our main thing is getting to that birth. So my partnership with CVD, Chicago Volunteer Doulas, is very special to me, and a lot of my births come from our volunteer births, because those are those hospital births, and I feel like those moms are at the most risk and they need the most support. So I do work with hospital births in that aspect. Privately, I do mostly home births, but Chicago CVD is definitely, you can donate to them. If you donate to them, you are helping a family to receive doula services, just to be clear. So again, please visit the website, or you can, if you are expecting and would like to apply, definitely visit my website, and I put the link is there to apply for that.
Awesome.
That's peaceful. That's beautiful. So we hit the hour mark with another beautiful discussion, enlightening. Hopefully this information has really helped somebody and they can use it. Shout out to everybody in the Chicago area, all the master students out there and across the world as well. I think, Tess, you wanted to add something?
No, I was saying peace.
Peace. To the Chicago area.
Yeah, I want to definitely leave the family the exact same way I came. In peace.
Hey, you are now watching Crumb TV.
Crumb TV.
Hey, we in Chicago, y'all, and y'all watching Crumb TV.
It's your brother, Tim Buck 2, I say.
You are now watching Crumb TV.
You in Chi-Town finest, Jim Inglewood, always up to no good. Man, I'm telling my brother Crumb.
You're watching Crumb TV.
I'm your humble brother, and you are watching Crumb TV. Reporting live from the Wild Hunters, Southside Chicago.
And you now watching Crumb TV.
And you're watching Crumb TV.
Crumb TV, baby. Hey.
Crumb.